Welcome to the Terrible Take, a mini podcast telling Steelers Nation what's on our mind. I'm Joe Clark. I really don't buy the report that the Pittsburgh Steelers could consider drafting a running back in the first round. To me, it feels like a smokescreen, and I think the Steelers have learned not to repeat their mistake from drafting Najee Harris in the first round. Harris was solid, but he was never a superstar. When you take a running back in the first round, you probably expect to get a little bit more production than Harris gave the Steelers. Running backs can be found all over the draft and even in free agency, and with a class so deep that 30 or more running backs could be drafted, taking someone in the first doesn't make a lot of sense with other needs on the roster, particularly along the defensive line. It's certainly not ideal, but the Steelers could do worse rolling into the season with Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell as their top two running backs. I do understand that in a class that's good, you can throw some positional value out the window to grab a player at the top of his position group. The Steelers' struggles to stop the run on their playoff loss to the Ravens, and at points throughout the season last year, really suggests the defensive line does have to improve. And I do think that they'll still draft a running back. It just, I don't see it happening in the first round. I think it's probably more something they address in the middle rounds. And defensive line really isn't an area where the Steelers have made any significant additions in free agency with just minor depth adds. And without a second round pick kicking the can on defensive line down to the third round to take a running back, when there's going to be plenty of talented running backs available in round three, really doesn't seem like great business. Ultimately, we'll see what ends up happening, and despite interest in some of the draft's top running backs, I really do think the Steelers are going to be comfortable waiting and won't force a pick on a running back in the first round. Be sure to follow us at SteelersDebo.com and check out the Terrible Take every day at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And check out the Terrible Podcast with Oscar Kazor and Dave Bryan every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.